Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's Wednesday, October 26th. It's my cousin Monique's birthday. Oh, Monique. My name is Chris Farah. Farah is my name, by the way. God bless. Welcome to my YouTube, where tonight I will be talking about 90 Day Fiancé. We are watching Happily Ever After, and we are in season 7. This is episode 9. However, another birthday girl is going to join us, a belated birthday girl. You know her, you love her, and we're gonna wish her a belated happy birthday together. Please put your hands together for Just Call Me Wah.
Hi. Hello.
I just spit. Hi. She wasn't ready, honey. She wasn't ready. But I'm so happy, we get to just like talk about this episode together because we already did talk about this episode together on the podcast. We do docu sweeties, but it's a different thing when I can just lead it, walk, and just like sit there and look pretty, and we're gonna talk about a couple we forgot. I guess I forgot to talk about maybe. So we'll have some new things to talk about. I also have some tweets. Hi everyone, yay! So as you might know, Wa just celebrated her 40th birthday. It was on Saturday. Happy 40th birthday, Wa.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Joslo. Thank you so much. T. Jones. Hello. Penelope Peterson. Hi, everyone. Caitlin. Hi.
Yay. Do you want to share anything about your birthday that you did or that was great or anything that specifically happened or a great present or anything?
It was a specifically great present is somebody allowed me to spend a luxurious night in a fancy ass hotel in Pasadena.
I feel like I know who that is. That would be one TT McFawson stuff. Here, I have I have
That'd be
pictures.
one Christine L. Farah. The
Yeah.
L is for Lebanese.
I have a picture to showcase of us in our hotel finest in our they're HEIC. God damn it.
Yeah, gotta go on ahead and convert that. Liverpool Lass, hello. You changed your picture. Hey, girl. Hey. Michelle
Why?
McDaniels, hello. Anaya, hi, hi, hi. It's just so interesting. Maybe it's because I honestly haven't gone live in like a month and a half, but you have
Uh-huh.
such a different audience than me. Like,
Yeah,
Liverpool
really?
Lass. Mm-hmm. Liverpool Lass, Caitlin. Those are just call me Wa regulars. Is it Joslo? Am I saying that right? Can I ask when do you put out new docu sweeties? Is there a specific day? Chris, you want to answer that?
Yeah, sometimes we do it Monday and sometimes we do it Tuesday. So it's usually Monday or Tuesday, I would say.
Or Wednesday?
Sometimes also Wednesday. So I guess really it could be any of those days, but often more Monday and Tuesday. But I mean, I guess it can go as like Wednesday, right? I'm trying to get a picture of us. I'm about to have it. That whole time I had to
Okay.
redo the thing. I hope this works out after all of this because we still have to do this beautiful story. But
I mean, we're
there
26 people in the room. More
okay,
like docu hotties. Thank you, T. Jones.
say less, T. Jones. Say less. This is us at the Langham Pasadena, which is a like traditional style hotel in Pasadena that I got like a free night at. And I will tell you that it was interesting, but I think that I had like crazy expectations from coming off of like a Ritz Carlton or a St. Regis. And like I just felt maybe like the amenities were okay. There was like the bathtub was like okay, pretty like normal in my room. I will say that the shampoo and conditioner set was like Co Bigelow or something. It wasn't like a brand I would like be excited to use or steal it from or anything. Just that kind of thing. The food was like mediocre, I don't know. Like, I think that I just kind of thought it'd be ridiculous. And it was more like 4-star for me. It felt like 4-star in a 5-star environment. Does that make sense? So, but here's the thing. At the same time, we had a great time. Less is more after all. Docu Sweet is the first podcast I listened to with real replay value. Really? Yeah. Oh my god, that makes us feel so good. We really are trying to with Docu Sweeties. I mean, put out stuff that you know like the shows where you want to watch the trashy stuff, but also like do the docu series on bingeable things because you never know when you're going to watch those. You never know when you're going to want to hear someone's opinion on it, or you're just like, oh that, or you want to see if you want to watch something what we've talked about because maybe then you'll be into like having someone to discuss it with. So we are hoping that even though we're going weekly with these things for the weekly shows that there's like value across the board. We love you guys. Oh, Honey Rider. Yay. It's been so long.
Thank you, Linda Anderson. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Thank you, honey.
Happy birthday, Wah. T T T T T. Okay, so we do have this episode to get into. And we're gonna Juan and I are gonna have some more content later because we might go on a little road trip. And I was thinking, wow, we should like videotape or like go live for our road trips together, and then like like have some fun times there.
Yeah,
Because we're gonna be on the road. It'd be great if
because
we could like do some meetups or whatever. If only people we knew where people lived and like God bless. Anyway, well, we can work through that. Okay, my loves, let's talk about 90 Day Fiancé and let's talk about Happily Ever After and let's talk about season 7, episode 9. It was called what was it called again, Wa?
Bad Blood.
Oh yeah, Bad Blood, just like the Taylor Swift song, which I would been listening to. Now we got bad blood. Have you listened to any of Midnight's?
I don't know that I would purposefully listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I listened to this new episode, this new thing because I really knew that it was going to be a big deal, and I just wanted to be in on the pop culture,
Mm-hmm.
Like, by the way, Rihanna released a snippet of her new song that's going to be in the uh,
Wakanda
yeah,
Forever.
yeah, her
Mhm.
Wakanda Forever song. Did you listen to like the 2 seconds of her like going like, "La"?
I didn't know there was 2 seconds. I just saw the R in the word Wakanda Forever come forward, and everybody was like dying on Twitter. And by I saw it, I mean I didn't see it on Twitter. I saw it on Instagram. Isn't it great how you don't have to ever go onto Twitter and you can just see tweets on Instagram? It's great. Same thing with TikTok.
Yeah, that's how I do it on Instagram. By the way, Wah, have you ever heard of this? Michelle McDaniel wanted to ask. Michelle McDaniel, did you change your name? Your screen name?
The
Anyway.
devil, you know. Let's look that up.
Yeah, the devil you know. No, I don't know that. We would like to. We're looking for new tune. We're looking for new
Because
ones.
it's a movie. Oh no, I'm gonna put devil you know Hulu to be more specific.
Mm-hmm,
Free
mm-hmm.
series. Let's read what it's about. It is an investigation into how Sherry's it's a lot of episodes. This is 2 seasons. This is like a full
Ooh, what is it?
I mean, what I'm saying is it's 2 seasons of something.
There's a lot of
So, I
episodes.
don't know if you understand what that means for us.
A lot of work is what
A
you're
lot of
saying.
work. Yeah. A man disappears amidst rumors of a local satanic killer. Journalist Chad Nance takes up the case as police come up empty-handed.
Oh shit! So it's like a
So
full.
I guess it's about Is that right, Michelle? Is that what it is? Oh my god, Mickey. Hi. I really feel like okay, up until this moment, I was like, "Oh, my channel's fine." And then I see Mickey and I'm like, "Fuck." I'm sorry, Mickey. I truly have not been going live. I feel bad.
No, everyone knows. Okay, you should also do this popular shows like Love is Blind to get the Spotify algorithms. Hi, you're smart. She comes as
Yeah.
yeah, we could do that, Wall. We should think about doing that. What are you eating, Ma?
I've already thought about doing it and I am going to do it.
Okay. So here we are. Let's talk about Kim and Usman. Oh, cinnamon toffee almonds, honey. Almonds.
From Sprouts.
So let's talk about Kim and Usman. May God take this woman away from me. So Kim is real upset, right? Kim is because they had just called her postmated cow delivery a bribe. And she's been like, can I say something? Can I say something? And everyone across the world heard at the same time and said, no,
No.
you may not. You shall sit and moo along with the cow, honey. It's moo. No, it's nope. It's a moot point. Why?
Is she not embarrassed? I mean, at that point, this woman is standing in this other woman's house fighting for her life. She is standing in the house of her peer, okay? Her boomer slash Generation X peer. And she's going to want to have a voice in the most oh my god, look at that. Chris, I can't. The imperial the like rudeness, this idea of like they didn't even give me a chance to explain myself. Girl, no. And
Yeah,
as they
they
should
don't need
not. Who
to.
are
They
you?
don't need to. They do not need to. Like like you aren't yeah, this isn't like you get your fair share. This isn't the court system. They're not they know owe you nothing and definitely no justice. They are living their life with that amazing couch set and knocky knock comes you. They weren't expecting you. They never asked for you. They did not call you. You weren't summoned. They didn't call you by your name, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't ask for a cow. So I think that Kim is going to really show her like kind of Karenness in this moment of like being like, "Excuse me, can I speak to the manager of this house?" And the mom is like, "Get this woman away from me." And like yeah, she like basically, they made their case known, which is that they don't want anything to do with her. And they're basically like, is like, yeah, like Usman, you can take this white woman away. Like, I'm done. You can take her away from here. No, take her far, far away. I never want to see her face husgensies wensies. And yeah, like this one tweet is like him in one of her defenses says like, oh, I make him happy. Like meanwhile, Usman's face is just I mean, he had to know what was going to happen for him to sit here like this. It feels like he just was like, yeah, making good TV. There was no way he knew that his parents would say yes or his brother. Look at Kimberly's face. I know that you kept saying that she's pursing her lips, but I wonder if it's just more of like the underbite that she has in like in juxtaposition, my love. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, could she imagine if she were sitting in her home and let's say she didn't approve of some woman that was dating Jamal and that person were to sit across from her with a face like that? I know she would like to say that she wouldn't judge somebody, but if Jamal got burnt in a very big way, if Kim were from a small area, like somewhere in the middle of Iowa, where everyone did things a certain way and no one really broke out and did anything different, and then her son decided that he was going to bring home someone of a completely different culture that you literally have no interest in, nor does it have any actual bearing on your life. And then that person ends up destroying the family and making a fool and calling your son racist remarks, and then you get divorced from him. Then your son brings another person from the exact same culture, about the same age, as well as the same ethnicity. And Kim expects these people to have open ideals. These
Yeah.
are these are people from a very specific small culture. And of course she's gonna say, I need my son to have a wife of
Yeah.
childbearing years. And that's the most I'm gonna acquiesce. And she's like, can I say something? People in my life would be very upset for you to say that this was a bribe. Well, girl, you saw the season of Baby Girl Lisa.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know that she purchased a goat. So you thought, what, I'll purchase a cow?
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring up Joslo's part then, where she says the cow was Usman's idea. No, why didn't he say something like almost like Usman was trying to make her look bad? Yeah, but like yes, baby girl Lisa also did bring an animal, so like it almost feels like damned if you do, damned if you don't. She had to have brought something, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And we know her personalities, which is Kimbali. I like to bring a gift for everyone. Gifts is my love language. What's her last name is,
I mean, some beautiful hijabs, but that to me shows that Kimberly is just like not willing to do any research of her own. She didn't, like I said, she did not even walk into that house saying assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, you wanted her to like have done some sort of due diligence and like
Something. She keeps
decorum.
she keeps blaming Usman for everything, and at some point, I just feel like she cannot. Thai dog trainer, she cannot. And I think that it's silly for her to say they didn't even give me a chance. That is
Mm.
the dumbest thing any 51-year-old woman has ever said. Also, did you see this? Maybe I can find it on somebody did a video of or did like a Photoshop of Kim Bali. I think it was on 90 Day. Oh yeah, here it is. Of Kim Bali with blonde short hair.
Oh
Now I
yeah.
think they might have done some other touching up, but I was like, "Oh bitch, I need you to go get blonde hair immediately."
They also lined
Like,
her eyebrows, I think.
is that what they did? I don't
There
know
are
what
they
all happened, but it was all in
yeah.
the right direction.
She looks like a
I thought,
senator.
yeah, but she
That
at least
yeah.
looks less wrung, worn, used.
The hair is bad. The hair is like it's not a good texture, and she sort of always styles it like
90s.
half up, half down. Yeah, and so it's like it's a little too youthful, and the texture is what it is, and it's like she wants to have it a little longer. And yeah, that one is a little lighter and a little shorter, and she does look like a senator, or like a congresswoman kind of. It actually makes her look a little classier for sure. So yeah, I think that would be a good part. So basically, the mom like asks her to leave, and the mom just gets up and walks out. I mean, like I just like that. Also, that was like a funny moment because like I can't imagine like having people at my house and then just like being like, "Well, I'm done with this," and so peace out, Audi 5000, and just get up, walk out, and to the point where people are like, "What? The sons are like, I think you should leave," and Kim's like, "Yeah, no, I see that she has absolutely left." Just like that mom could not wait to get out of the room,
It was
you
an
know?
absolute waste of her time. And I think that Kim was being silly by not acknowledging, I mean, like, not silly. I think that Usman and the brothers should have said immediately when the mother said, "Please apologize for her, but let this lady leave." All they had to say was, "Kim, at this time, my mother, she needs to go pray," or something. Um, but they all just sat back as though Kim could understand what was going on. So Kim had to just do the body language portion of it.
Yeah, basically. So then they have a ride home, and in this ride home, Usman like knows that Kimbali is like real upset by what happened, and so he like takes it upon himself to try to immediately diffuse the situation by being almost like really happy, like happy isn't the word, more like positive, and like, well, we'll find a solution. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. And I'll tell you right now, for some reason I'm hot as hell and real horny by this, because I'm going to give you double yammy. Do you hear that? I'm going to double it up. It's going to be like double double, in and out style, yammy style. I mean, just like, do you know what a big sweet potato is, honey? Because you're going to know it twice. Mhm. And so like it's a weird moment because one would think that you would be like mildly devastated with the thought that like your mom like feels the way she feels, which is that get that woman out of my house, and like no thanks for the cow. And like he he I think that what is to happen is that we realize that I think that he also was hoping that she'd be okay with coming to terms with that truth that his parents want him to marry a house a woman and first and give birth first. He thinks that she's going to come to that compromise and truth, seeing what she saw, which was that his family really wants it. And that there was a brief history. That's another reason why, as Wa said, that the baby girl Lisa exists. So, because she would see that with her own eyes and the cow's eyes, that she would be okay with the next part, which is, hey, the solution that we'll just you'll be the second wife. And she loses her mind. She's like, "No, that's the thing. Like, I won't do." Like, it's actually somewhat surprising because it feels like you were willing to. How do I say this in a not in a horrible way? It feels like Kimberly is willing to degrade herself to do whatever it takes to have Usman by her side, including living in a delusional world in which he would like willingly give up certain things to be with her, and yet she is not willing to be the second wife. What?
I just think that she is drawing the line in the sand at the wrong place, because she needs to do research and see what it is to be in a polygamous relationship, because in polygamy, if it's done, I guess, right, like, you can say it that way because, like, people try to do communism right, but there's no real way to do it right. But anyways, you're supposed to have the sister wives are supposed to have a relationship with each other so that you can mitigate jealousy, and even with that, there is still jealousy. So, but it's the reason why they're supposed to have a relationship with each other is so that there's harmony in the household. Like, at the end of the day, the man does choose, but he also has to choose somebody whose wives will get along with, so that there is not a breakdown of the harmony with the family, because the whole purpose of it is to be bountiful and create children and have this large family. And the fact that she has done no research makes me just not want to support her in any way, because she keeps saying, as I think T. Jones said earlier in here, what did she say? Something was like baby maker. Kim ain't playing no second fiddle to any baby maker, her words. The fact that Kim is just like oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I forget I can put things up. I can put things up. The fact that Kim is just so okay with the fact that the second wife is going to be the baby maker and that she would have nothing to do with this person is just really shitty. I mean, that makes her look like a bad person, no matter what Usman told her. The fact that she would even agree to a situation in which some woman is just some broodmare to be breeding out children while her husband gallivants around the country or the world. And why does she want to marry? I mean, just so many things are called into question. And he ends up just being really rude to her and telling her that because she doesn't want to agree to this, he's like, "Well, I should get an A for effort. Okay? I made the effort. I brought you to my mother. My mother said no. So now the only other way for us to stay together is for you to be second wife. And if you don't want to be second wife, then F you, because there are much prettier women out there. In fact, I actually said I don't want someone who's beautiful. I don't want someone who's smart. I don't want someone who's skinny. I don't want someone who's young. I want you." And she had to be like, "Well, I mean, you love me." And he's like, "Sure."
Wow, what if I was like, I don't want like a best friend that's like prettier than me and smarter than me and like is doing better than me and like has better things than me and like, like dates hotter guys than me and like makes me feel bad about myself because they're like so much better than me. I want you as my best friend.
I'd be
You would
like,
be like,
I need to see the pictures of the guys that you date. Like, because what do you mean? And then I would be like, and then I would be like, what does
you're
that mean?
okay.
What does that mean? Exactly. What does that, exactly what does that mean?
Like, so it's like it is like kind of like a girl, like a real mean girl thing to say.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are like the
It's
epitome.
like I hang out with just girls that are doing like I hang out with people who are like less successful than me so that I can feel good about myself. Hey friend, you know?
Yeah, it is that. There are some girl okay, I guess there's, like, some girls that wanna hang out with girls that are as hot as possible because you're all, like, a group and clique and you can get into places and it's like, "Oh, my friends are hot." And there's some girls who wanna be a little hotter than their friends or way hotter than their friends so that they get more attention.
I just am like, I hate that. I hate it. I feel like that's what I was in like junior high. I was like the ugly friend. And then I got to a place where I was just like, I don't ever want to be in competition with another girl that I'm supposedly friends with. Like, I don't ever want to feel like she's one upping me in any moment. Because as soon as I feel that way, I'm like, then I'm out of here because I don't care. I'm not
Yeah,
friends with
yeah.
you because of that. I'm friends with you because I like to be around you.
Yep. "Hi, bae. Hey, friend." This is funny, Ronald. He's been dying he's been dying to tell her how unattractive she is.
Yeah.
He's been dying. He's been dying like, the words couldn't come out fast enough, like, "Compromise? I haven't compromised, you tell me what I'm doing, look at you. Look what I have to look at and look who I could look at." Like, he's just like yeah, he's just like he almost feels like he's been resenting it the entire time, thinking about it, so that when this moment comes, it can't come out fast enough, like you say. He's just like saying it so fast, and she's like, "What?" Because she was not been thinking about it, because she lives in a little bit of a delusional land, my loves, where she thinks it's all 50-50 when it comes to like I don't know what to tell you. Like she in her mind, she knows she came from super fan. It's like somehow there's just I don't know, like I don't know how she like whatever like makes it work in her head. Well,
It's that loyalty, like, she feels like she's like
loyalty.
yeah, she's like,
Sorry.
"No, you're not gonna find anybody more faithful or loyal than me." And I'm like, but also what he wants is somebody really hot that he can walk on a red carpet with, and
Make babies with
unfortunately, that's not you, ma'am. That's not
Zara.
that's not who you are, and you can't be anybody else, and we know that. You're just gonna be who you are, you can't be anybody else. Like, and it's just unfortunate that he would say that to her, and you would think that that would I mean, like, Chris, where would you have to be in your life? I mean,
Mhm.
I've let men I let somebody for, like,
Hmm.
15 years make
Hmm.
me feel like a POS. Make
Mhm.
me feel not pretty enough, make me feel like
Yeah.
all this stuff. And
Uh-huh.
as I was walking to my job today from my car, I said, "I can't believe that I let this person, like, make me feel this way when this person is an absolute loser."
Mhm.
Like, this person has nothing to their name. This person is just like this person has never cared about my orgasm 100% ever in his life. And the
Okay.
one time that I do, he tells me, "Oh, that's why I don't like to be with girls who such and such because like the connection wasn't there." And I was like, "Bitch, you've never made me do anything." So like the fact that I even did it this time, you should be really proud of yourself. The fact that you were in the presence of my orgasm. So like I can't believe that I let this person make me feel this way, and it's just like same thing with Kim, like, I just can't believe that she's taking this from him in any sort. She should have if we see next episode that she's talking to him afterwards, then I'm like, "Oh, you have low self-esteem, and I can't help you at that point." Now we're just watching a sinking, burning ship because at 51, you can't have somebody sit across from you telling you that they're not gonna miss you because they have put aside beauty and youth in order to be with you. No.
Absolutely. So many things to say. You've all been in the presence of one of my orgasms. Boop. There's one now. Just kidding.
It could be
I
mine if that was it. Boop, 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 boop.
blah, blah, blah. Just kidding. So, yeah, no, that was when he said it and she heard it. She had to like cry about it, made me feel really bad. But also, I wanted to be like, girl, wake up. Like, is this it? Like, are you gonna hear it? Like Jamal's gonna watch that scene. That made me feel bad too. But yeah, like we talked about this also on the podcast, so you can believe me. What I do a good job of when we talk about the show, not the podcast. We like have a fresh conversation because we dived into what loyalty could mean in that situation because she uses it so much. So we'll leave that conversation for there. We'll move on. So my loves, let's. Do I have anything else I wanted to show? Just like Usman's mom's face, you know, just like a quick moment of like this woman hated that woman and just couldn't wait for God to get her out of the house, her to get out of the house. She couldn't wait for her to get out of the house so badly that she walked out of the room so she wouldn't have to even be looking at
She
her.
walked out of her own living room.
Yeah, and she loves a living room. We know that. Okay, Bilal and Shaeeda. So we pop up and it's Ramadan, honey, Ramadan. And I forgot I put things down. I forgot who. Okay. Oh, that's not. So it's Ramadan and Shy is gonna make a big ass feast for Bilal's family, and she is not wearing any makeup, and we don't know why. Like if it was a choice, it was like a choice because of Ramadan. If she just like ran out of eyeliner that day, she's been cooking and she didn't want to like cry because of the onions. She had to cut scallions, so like but scallions usually don't make you cry as much, but she like made such interesting things. She put a bunch of scallions in a blender with like some shrimp, like made in like shrimp scallion sauce with some garlic, my loves. I mean, I don't know, like then poured that on something, I'm sure, and then like I don't know exactly what. I mean, maybe it was just like if you like seafood, maybe that would be something that would be really into. But guess what? I don't. Why?
I wanted to know what it is and I wanna taste it. I'm sure it's delicious. I'm, like, really into it. I was like, "What is that?" I only thing I could think of is maybe she was adding it to the mac and cheese as some kind of, like, mac and cheese, like, shrimp. Mm. I'm gonna say one thing about this, and it's because it's near and dear to my heart, because I'm somebody with a low ovarian count, somebody who most likely, after trying to have kids on their own, has like resigned to the fact that like I probably won't, and most likely not, just because the emotional toll that it costs, the financial strain that it costs, and then just the idea of like truly doing it on my own. That's really hard, and I was really bold at the beginning of 2022. I was bold at the beginning of 2022. Towards the end of 2022, I'm like a little bit knocked into reality. But to have a full grown woman who it gets told this, and the husband is still like, so we should wait for 3 years. And then the husband who finds out that their sister didn't have their kid till 43 can somehow just like decide that, well, my sister had her kid at 43, so you should be able to have your kid at 43 too. At least talk to her about freezing her eggs, Bilal. That's it.
I mean, I completely agree with you. We I think I've been championing the freezing the eggs for a hot ass minute, but by a hot minute and hotter, she wants to freeze her eggs, and it's what if it was like cold your eggs because she says hot your food as opposed to warm your food. I'm just kidding. But yeah, some other things happen where they're always, he's always like correcting her. She's like, oh, like, do you want me to hot your food? And he's like, warm my food. And I just like, if you have the cute little accent to your lover, like I would melt my heart to like have like a cute accent and be with someone. And then like if they tell me something crazy, like I just like, ugh, just like a blast honey's gonna tell me like, hi da 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 da. I wouldn't be like, excuse me, sir, it's actually a refrigerator, like, no, just like enjoy your cute accent. Enjoy the cute accent that you married, like what charm, everyone speaks so dumbly. So, dumbly is what I just said. So, when the family comes, the first thing they say is like, well, just so you know, there'll be no baby talk during Ramadan. Like that's the line that Bilal has given Shaeeda, but Shaeeda like doesn't really care about that because she knows it's distinctly dumb. So when the family's there and she just presented all the food, and there's just a mishmash of foods. They all brought something, honey. It was like a potluck. She's like, they're like, oh, what's next on the agenda for you guys? And she's just like, next on the agenda. Next, well, the only thing I care about, the only thing I could possibly say. Yeah, I'm gonna open a yoga studio, maybe, but also baby, family, a family. And he's like, we have a family, and she is like, you do. In fact, you do. What?
Bow, 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 shots fired. Like when he said that we have a family, I was like, she's currently in a fight with your ex-wife. Y'all don't have a family right now.
Yeah.
So, it was a little rude of her to say start a family. I'll give him that. She could have said have an additional family member or start, creating children. It was a little, I mean, his kids weren't there, right? If they had been there and she had said start a family, I'll give him that. But the fact that he is just like
I agree.
intent about mansplaining everything about what her postpartum might be like, about how hard having children are and how expensive they are. He really does think that she's this little girl from the banana boat, and that he's there to, I don't know, usher her through life with teaching her how to drive and critiquing her in a way. And I really do think that Shida, at least on camera, is the idea of a submissive wife to a certain extent.
Mhm.
She acquiesces to him in almost every way, even when she's right,
Mhm.
in order to not have him, I think, cold, what's that called when you shut down? Not have him shut down, because he will ignore her for days on end when he gets upset.
Cold
And
shoulder.
yeah, cold shoulder. And I think that I just truly think that they need to go and find a spiritual leader that they have to talk to. Someone who actually has some kind of therapy degree. Like I'm pretty sure they can find a Muslim therapist. I think they could. I think they can. I think they really just need to look into it. because he is going to continue his pattern of behavior, and she's going to feel guilty because she promised to stay with him and work it out with him. But the truth is that he she can't if he's not going to open up and be better.
Yeah. I have, okay, first of all, thumbs it up, everyone. If you haven't, to take a little moment, exercise your thumbs by giving a little love to my like button. Just, thumbsing it up. Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs, 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 thumbs it up. Okay, I just want to say something else, which is someone else brought up in the part, which is like, do you think that Bilal had a secret vasectomy and that's why he like is being weird about the kid thing?
No, I think that his religiousness wouldn't allow him to do so. I think that he's just using condoms, which just like makes me so sad. Just makes me so sad to know that that's happening.
God. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I want to be fair to Bilal and say like I know everybody kind of feels the same way about him, but he's hurt too. He's hurt too. He is just very emotionally unavailable, and he is, because he's an imam. I think that there's a certain part of there's a hypocrisy in him that bothers me. Is
Mhm.
that he's not willing to do what he needs to do to help his life out, but he'll readily counsel somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Will he go to therapy? Like he feels like someone to be like, I'll be the therapist of someone else, but like I don't think that he's going to like sit and listen to someone tell him about himself. He seems so like too cranial for that, you know?
I think he was endowed with that. I think that somewhere in his life, his mother or his father or whatever, the community endowed him with this hubris
Mhm.
that is very difficult for someone who hides behind that and or props themselves up against that hubris. And what would he be if he didn't have that? I mean, I think part of it has helped him to be successful in his community, in his business. Part of that is like him and Shy dressing alike. Part of that is him wearing like black Muslim t-shirts to like big ups his community. But he's hurt too, but it's like until that wall can be broken, there is nothing that can be done. And it doesn't have time to break him down. She doesn't have time to help him get over himself. She I think will, unfortunately, unless he gets some help, I think unfortunately she will stay longer in this relationship than needed in order to try to fulfill her promise. And I think she's going to just be hurt endlessly along the way.
I agree. So we're going to move on. We don't have any Elizabeth and Andre this episode at all.
No
Uh,
fucking Elizabeth and fucking Andre.
I know, right? So let's move on to Yara and Jovi. Yara and Jovi are, listen, so time has passed because last time we saw him, like he was, going to go to work for a month and she was agreeing not to go to Europe. And suddenly he's immediately back. Like, I'm like, what happened that month? Like what the hell happened that month? Nothing. Anyway, so now he's back and they're going to Europe. So that's what's happening. And Miss Gwen is going to take them, and we get a lot of Mila just loving that Miss Gwen, honey, like throwing herself at Miss Gwen when Miss Gwen's coming up, like jumping out of her mom's arms. Can't wait to get to the Miss Gwen, honey. Just like, and when they have to leave, when they have to go into the airport. I mean, Mila does not have a good time. She's pissed. Oh, she's so upset. I mean, Miss Gwen's really upset. Like, I almost feel like Miss Gwen's gonna like start crying too because I mean, it's always so sad to deal with a baby just screaming that baby's head off to be leaving you. Like, like if you're holding a baby and suddenly the baby has to go, like, and the baby's just looking back at you, like, why would you be letting that person take me? Don't you want me anymore? Don't you want to hold me? Like, it's a horrible feeling. You're like, of course I do. Of course I do. I love you. You're just like, it's very, very hard. So I feel bad for Miss Gwen for that. Um, but yeah, like, Jovi was a nightmare on the way to that airport, honey. Like, they were talking. I feel like he was just being a dick for being dick's sake, like basically being like Jovi's mom's like, how are you gonna talk to people? Like, how are you gonna talk to, like your mother-in-law? And he's like, well, if she wants to talk to me, she can learn English. Is what he says on camera. I like to think that he's just him pretending to be like the cable guy kind of humor. What? Oh, she's sorry doing things. I realize. Well, you don't have to talk if you don't want to. Wa's been just like moisturizing herself. She just used Bag Balm, which is basically like cow udder cream, all over her hands, and now it's real glistening. It's real slippery. So me being like, Wa, do you want to give your opinion? Is actually very hard for her because she's just like she's slippery fingers. Like this is literal slippery fingers. She'll steal things. Is that what they call them? Slippery fingers? Yeah, that's what happens when you steal things. Um Yay, I miss you too. Yay. Hi, sweet boo. You're gorgeous. Yari throws her mother-in-law to the bus. So basically, yeah. So they get on the plane, and the baby's on the woken up now, and the baby's fine. Like babies get over it, thank God. And Mila, like I said this on the podcast, but it's true. Like they put a headset on her, honey, and she just starts pushing buttons on that like entertainment screen. It was just like she was just like, oh well, I have work to do here now. No, it's like you do your work and I'll be doing my work. No, I mean, like I'm basically flying this plane right now. Like you see what's happening. It's me. They're like, Mila, your earphones aren't in. She's like, oh, well, just put it back, you dumb fucks. Like I gotta get my shit done. Sticky fingers. Yeah, it's not slimy fingers. Do you want to talk again, Wa?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure after he said that she can learn English, he said just kidding, and they obviously cut that out. So that was so crazy. That was so crazily said that like I didn't believe it. Also, the way he like jumps out of the back of the van when he's unloading it, and they had like 5 bags, and I was just like, man, this person is so like sporty. But I mean, I imagine he might like he's on a boat, like pulling rigs and like running up and down in like wetsuits or overall situations, like I don't know, hunting for crabs. I don't know what he does, but he he's used to that life. And so I love that he has a beer immediately when he's in the bar, I mean in the airport. He sleeps the whole way while she stays up with the baby. And part of that is like I always want to give the partner the benefit of the doubt. Part of that is like, Yara, wake his ass up. Don't complain about him going to sleep. Like, wake him up. Wake him up so you don't have to complain and be frustrated. He knows what you want from him. Or maybe it was his first day home after being on the boat for a month? So
Yeah.
maybe she understood, like, yeah, he is really tired. And Jovi is genuinely a little annoying. He's not as annoying as Andre, whom I love, but he's always going to be the little bit of an antagonistic figure. He's going to
Hmm.
go meet her friends and say, "Oh, she wants fake boobs because of you guys. So help me tell her this." But at the end of the day, I do think that he really cares about his family more than we thought he was after season 1. Like, remember in the beginning of season 1, we were just like, this guy is terrible. And we're like, Yara walks on water. Now she still walks on water, but
He's gotten better. No, he's gotten better. Because we also like Mila. Hi, Bonnie. Oh, yes. All white body looking like milk, honey. Luda. Yes. So let's talk with so basically yeah, so they get there, the mom is, so excited to see Yara that like I lose my shit. I saw a bunch of tweets. This goes a little bit later, but the pure joy on Yara's mom's face seeing her daughter after such a long time is literally the only happily ever after on this show, which I thought was basically true. I mean, she was so excited to see her daughter, which I get. It's been 2 years, and your daughter comes home with your daughter's daughter. Like this beautiful baby. Like she couldn't. She just was crying. I mean, like wailing so much. Just like I just like can't. I'm too sensitive. Like I cried right back. I cried right back. Wow. More
I
bag
know I was so shocked when she said that she cried.
more bag bomb. Wow. More.
I just
Where's this gonna go?
wait, what's happening is that, every
Okay, just
time
wondering.
every time I go get my nails done, they're always like, "You want me to cut your cuticles?" And I say, "Yes," because my cuticles are a wretched mess, right? But
Mhm,
then they cut them, and what happens to me, which I know this I'm not the only person because 'cause I've met other people in my lifetime this happens to, is when they cut my cuticles, all of a sudden, all of the skin around my cuticles, like, not my cuticle skin, but the skin, the, like, colored part of my skin right above that, just begins to peel. So everything just starts to I just get a lot of these, like, is it called a hangnail? I just get a lot of this dry skin right above my cuticles that start to separate from my skin, and it hurts so bad that I have to continuously just cut them off with a like one of those pincing like things,
mhm.
cuticle clippers. And right now I just put it on and it was so dry and it just like absorbed in, and I'm just like, I just can't have it starts to hurt. So, anyways, cracks, dries, same. No, yeah, like it's just a crazy thing that
Yeah,
happens with my cuticles once I get them cut.
yeah.
it looks good for the first day. And even though I keep oiling them, I wash my hands because COVID, but like it just I don't think you guys can see it, but like it's just so
I get that.
ugly.
No, it's hard. I
And
just have to keep
so
petting them and put lotion you have to put I mean, like, it really is a thing where you have to put lotion on or, like, cuticle oil on or hand cream on all the timesy wimesies,
yeah.
you know?
And then I type, right? So I'm typing and then my keyboard is just like greasy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I have to put on lotion every single time, and then it's just like it's like a cycle, but anyway, so that's why I did that. I guess I just, like, I don't know what it's like to, like, not see your mother for 2 years and then miss her.
Uh,
And
uh, yeah.
so that part, like, it was just like, "Oh, that's sweet," and I'm like, That's such an envious place," like, an en not an envious, like, I'm just like, "I don't know what that experience is like." I'm so happy that she gets to see this person she hasn't seen for 2 years, and I with the thing that struck out to me the most,
Mhm, mhm.
I was like, "I'm so happy that she gets to speak her native tongue, and she
Mm.
doesn't have to think about the words that are coming out of her mouth.
Yeah, should
She can just." And then Jovi's over there being annoyed because she's speaking in Ukrainian,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Oh, no, just let her speak, and if you hear your name every other word, learn the language."
Yeah, like, it's literally karma for what you said in the car. Like, that's
Yeah.
for any time in which you hear, like, "Babushka nooshka nooshka Jovi, babushka nooshka nooshka Jovi," and then you say something like, "Stop saying my name," like, they're literally just like, "Well, learn the language and F off," like they are talking about, like, whether Yara would wanna stay, and she does wanna stay. She loves being in Europe. She's just like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to be back in Europe. Oh, just the way Europe smells, kinda the way they do things in Europe. Europe is the place to be." She's like, she's so Cosmo. And, I'm so happy that, like, yeah, her mom brought her flowers and this cute little chocolate bunny at the airport. And then, yeah, like, just that baby was asleep, and but even though the baby was asleep, that grandma looked at that baby and was like, "Oh, Joey's baby? No paternity test needed, that's Jovi's baby." She's like, "Well," Yara's like, "Well, let's just see what happens when the baby opens the baby's eyes," and we are like, "Yeah," and you can see how much the baby has Jovi's eyes, more, because the baby looks like Jovi. Gorgeous baby. So, for some reason, Jovi's tasked them to drive. I don't know why Jovi's the one that's driving, but he's driving, like, for the first time in Ukraine, and he doesn't, like, it's confusing, I can imagine, but, like, they get a little back and forth, but basically they are in a full-on happy couple, and any sort of, like, drama we see is them trying to put it on, which basically is how I feel about Brittany and Marcelino from Love After Lockup, except they're putting on quite a show for their drama. What?
Putting on the Ritz?
I
Yeah,
mean,
I just think they're trying to continuously make that TLC 90 Day Fiancé money, and I ain't mad at you.
no.
Like, they got a baby to feed, they got a lifestyle to live,
Mm,
and, right now in the comment section, Shay is talking about whether or not Bag Bomb can be used as lube. I don't
mm,
think so. Bag
no.
Bomb is like Vaseline, thicker than Vaseline, and, I would not wanna put that near my John Brown hind parts.
I literally don't know what phrase you said, where it came from. I've never heard of John Brown hind parts.
I
I don't
think
know
it
what to tell
came
you guys.
from I have a memory of Denzel Washington say it, so I think it came from Remember the Titans. Not sure. So bag balm is literally, contains lanolin and stays on to provide moisturizing and softening. For pets, apply bag balm literally to the affected areas. For use on cows, thoroughly wash treated teats and udder with separate towel before each milking. To avoid contamination after each milking, bathe the udder with plenty of hot water. Strip milk out and dry skin. Apply bag balm freely and massage gently with this proven ointment twice daily. This product contains no alcohol.
Oh,
So this is not for that. It smells slightly medicated. It's not though. To me, it's really not medicated. But for somebody who's never smelled it, I think you might think it has. It's hydroxyquinoline sulfate in petroleum lanolin base. Massage thoroughly and allow ointment to remain for a full softening effect.
petroleum is right. Um, yellow, honey,
Mhm.
yellow.
You can just get
Um,
it at like CVS. It's $8 and it'll last you for like years.
I just threw mine away because I was like, I can't be good after like 7 years, like right? I gotta get a new one every 7 years. It's like a marriage.
I have it on my lips
So my
now.
husband. Oh, I wish I had some right now. Wah, I don't. How sad for me. Okay, let's move on. And yeah, she said teats. When she said it too, I was like, teats.
Mhm.
So Jenny and Sumit, my love. Jenny and Sumit. Like, do I have anything else to say about Jovi and Yara? Oh, I don't. I don't. So Jenny and Sumit. Okay, so we are now back to their home, their old new home, their new old home, if you will, and or they have to go back. I'm trying to say, and then this is after they had the conversation about cleaning and whether Jenny was going to be a good cleaner. Okay, but now they're back, and he has to go hang out with his family, and she is so happy that she doesn't have to go. And he's like, "Are you sure you don't want to go?" And she's like, "No, I gotta clean. No, I gotta clean. Remember how we had that conversation? You told me that I'm like disgusting and I'm really dirty, and it's like don't ever clean. Guess what I'm gonna do right now? Use the vacuum we just bought. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I don't. You should get a Roomba, honey. Just get a Roomba so you can like just get all the like the knickknacks and patty whacks in the corner of the room. What? Are you taking pictures?
Yeah. Coconut oil is the best lube and it tastes good. I send that to people. Great.
Coconut
Thank you.
oil tastes good. I mean, doesn't it does?
I mean, maybe it tastes
Mm.
mixed with human sweat. I don't know. So I just here's what it is. I want Jenny to step more into her power and be a little bit more assertive with I think she's a coward and I'm kind of tired of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm feeling right now. It's just like the like I understand why she doesn't want to go and it's clear why she doesn't want to go, but then she just needs to like tell him. Maybe they're only repeating it for the cameras cuz they're filming a show and they have to. But I want her to stop saying you have to let your parents go cuz that's not what's going to happen. And her idea that you know the answer is just to move to America is like, no girl, you moved there. So that this is what your life is.
Mhm. Absolutely. Um So basically, when Sumit goes and hangs out with his family, he thinks it's gonna be like his mom and his dad. He's like so happy because basically he's like, "Oh, I just want to go back to before we got married. We're like, I could still see them. Like we'd hang out like like once a week. They want to like see their Sumiti poo. They like call me. They're like, Sooms, come, come, and like I go get to go like eat my mom's like yummy food or drink her yummy chai, and she like pets my head or whatever she does, and it makes me feel real great. Like I'm such a mommy's boy, as we said." And he goes there, and we're all looking, and we clock Sumit's sister-in-law. We know the person well. She has the contacts in, she has the weird hair, it's a bow. We're like, oh, God bless. And the other one never talks, her husband, who like is I guess the actual brother of the family, never says a word. I mean, doesn't know English or doesn't believe in the show. And then next to them, we're like, God, that woman looks familiar, but what is that woman? And it's like his aunt. And his aunt is this person, and this person said Gino's hat had tweeted, Auntie has entered the chat. We're like, oh God, yes. And honey, she's just basically like, your mom and your dad are coming. Your mom told me to come, and she is on death's door for the blow you have given her of marrying Jenny. And there's only one person in this entire world who can save her from dying, and it's you. Right? Basically, what?
I mean, Chris,
What?
what if your neighbors started calling you, poking fun at the fact that your child married the oldest woman he could marry? To the point where they're like, Jenny should be ashamed of herself because she picked up on a child. I said that person, they've been together for 10 years. That person I mean, he was 23 and she was 53, right? Like right at this moment, we're all a little like, oh my God, get over it. He's 33 and she's 63. Like it's love. But if we think about it, Sumit catfished her when he was 23 years old. And by the time he was 25, she knew that he was not the Michael Jones in the picture and that he was a 25-year-old Indian man. And I, as a 34-year-old, felt guilty about dating a 26-year-old. So I'm now like, maybe they're right.
That
Maybe she did like, even though he was attracted, he was attracted to her, he is attracted to her. I'm not saying that their love isn't real, but like the fact is that he was a little too young. Because if she were 53 and a man and he got with a 23-year-old girl,
it happens all the time.
I know, but does that make it right?
Touche. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point, and I almost interesting point that his parents don't bring it up more as like a, because that would be a valid assertion more than
Mhm.
she's ugly, she's old, she can't have kids. She's ugly, she's old, she can't have kids. Which is kind of like, which is kind of the resounding POV we get from specifically just Sumit's mom. But yeah, so basically the sister-in-law and the aunt are like, you have to get your ass together and like get your mom to like not, like kill herself because she's like so distressed from the emotional abuse of you and what people have inflicted on her from your life choices, and no one can save her or save the situation but you. And he's like, well, would it make you all feel better if I had a kid? And because I'll have a kid. And they're like, what? He's like, no, yeah, like I can have a kid and that'll be better, it'll be great. And they're like, the sister-in-law is like, does Jenny know that, like, and have you talked about it with Jenny? And he's like,
Oh no, I haven't.
no.
Um, but I will.
Now if he was a smart man, he would have just been like, of course. But he didn't.
Hmm.
So he said no, and then the sister-in-law literally had to like roll her eyes and her baby barrette to her like husband and be like, "This asshole, your stupid brother," you know. Like,
Baby Barrette.
I mean, it is like the kind of like it's a baby barrette, or like it's the kind of thing where I would like have done French braids down the sides of my head and then just like have affixed it with like two little bows at the end. I wish I had. I don't think he can really groom a 23-year-old. It's not like 18 or 19. I mean, people would definitely agree with you too. I think there's kind of like a both sides to it. Why am I saying that I agree with Wah, I guess? It's because it is so young, and was it a situation where, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like they were in such an emotional relationship. I wonder if she has even allowed him the possibility of thinking of not being with her in the way that I think I would if I was being with someone super young. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think
I'm
anyone
just
understands.
saying I'm just saying if the genders were swapped, right? People talk shit about Big Ed and Liz because he's 53 and she's 29. Like, so what I'm saying is just think of the genders were swapped. And the fact is that you guys are right. He actually catfished her. He pretended to be somebody older and better looking, and then for 2 years, and then came out as something else. And they ended up dating and going about their business after getting to know each other. So I'm not necessarily saying that she's like a terrible cradle robber but from their perspective, they are a little like she was the older party, and she is somehow Sylvia. Let's have Sylvia answer that. Sylvia, what do you think if you were dating? He's just on the cusp of learning
You're
about himself. He's got
53,
so much to
Sylvia?
learn.
Ooh, Jesus, look how hot Sylvia is.
Good for you,
Jesus,
Sylvia.
you look so good. Ooh, yeah, good for you. You're hot as
So
hell.
it's just that there's a lot of layers to this, that they feel like he's under some kind of spell, and then he's gone and married her, and it's just really embarrassing. Like, this is something that we as Americans cannot understand. Like, we understand it in theory, but in practical application of it, at some point we would be like, oh well, it's been 10 years, like let them be together. But no, like, it was all just kind of a fantasy until they actually got married, because I think that when they got married, that like changed the dynamic because of how marriage is in their culture. Like, I think that people would argue with me that marriage is equally as important in the US, depending on your culture and your family and your area. But when you're obligated to invite your neighbors to your child's wedding, that's a different level to me. Because I don't think in any space in the US are you obligated to invite your neighbors. You're obligated to invite family. We don't live in villages where your neighbor is your family. Like, but the fact that like you invite your neighbors, you invite your people at temple, you invite your family, and then their in-laws, like you invite a lot of people to Indian weddings. And it's just like culture.
Mhm.
And so to end, because like getting married, especially with if you are arranged, the idea of that kind of backs arranged marriage is it's two families coming together. It isn't two people. It's two families. So culturally, it's a celebration of the lineage moving over with two families coming together. And now this man has snuck off and not only got married to someone who their family didn't approve of, which is big enough as it is, but also someone who is a different culture and then cannot bear children. It's already kind of, I think, a scandal for maybe like an Hindu woman to marry a Muslim man, right? Because those two different religions and those families would never come together and agree with that. And but they're both Indian and they're both of childbearing years. So like I think it's a scandal and it's like, oh, whatever, they disown whatever. But I mean the many layers of Ginny and Sumit of shame that Sumit has brought to his family is unfathomable for his mother to even deal with. And so we're seeing a grown woman just wail and throw her body on the ground and twirl around, and we're like, this woman needs to get over it. But we don't have any real idea about like what is happening in her world and in her community. Sorry, Chris, for taking over. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's so true. By the way, you wanna hear a cute little thing?
I've fallen
Um,
for a younger person and I can't get up. That's hilarious. Go ahead, Chris.
That's true. That's English Lit Guy, and English Lit Guy and Honey Writer are a couple, and they often, just, like, will be in the same room or different rooms in the house, just
That's so great. That's so great. You guys are great.
No, I know it, I know it, I know it. It makes me really, really, really happy. Basically, okay, so, I mean, I don't have to tell you about that other than what we just got done telling you. He didn't yeah, he said that Jenny, like, Jenny doesn't know about the kids yet. And so when he gets back down to the house, like, he tells Jenny that the meeting didn't go really well, and then and that, like, basically they still hate all of them, and by them, they mean really Jenny. And Jenny's like, "Well, then fine, let's go back to America. America, the place that you've never been, but I gave up to be with you, but you should go to America. And do you want to go to America?" And he's just like, "No. Do you like it here?" Like, I love the idea of also Sumit has absolutely like no desire to ever go to America. And just in the vein of anyone who always thinks that there are people that want to catfish to get to America, like Sumit would probably do anything possible to stay within the 5 mile radius of his mom's breast, you know?
Oh my God, T. Jones is a man? I just am like, this whole time, T. Jones, I
Yeah.
assume everybody is a
Oh,
woman.
oh no.
I assume everyone English lit guy thought that was a woman too.
Oh no,
I don't
English guys. Yeah, Honey Rider. No,
I
it's
know.
fine.
I don't
Oh,
know, like,
I knew that.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't have a picture, I assume you are a black woman. I assume you are a black woman. Chris at some point had to tell me, "Oh no, that person is not black." I'm like, "Oh." I just assume everybody that watches me is a black woman just because I assume like who what are there people interested in me? I mean, obviously Dog Trainer and like Linda Anderson and like now I know Quasi, but Quasi I was like, "Oh, that's she not black?" I know everybody think everybody is a black woman until they otherwise state it. It's like I should start my lives and put age, sex, and location and race, please. ASLR.
Oh, I never had R. Yeah, like never said R. Obviously, it was ASL. I just used a
I
cybersex
mean, yeah,
all
but like I
the time.
just assume everyone is a black woman. Kaylin's black. I don't know if she is or not. She black. Quasi was black for a long time until Chris was like, "Oh no, she's not black." I was like, "Oh."
Thank
So now that T Jones is a man, good to know. Also, Bonnie, you changed your name, right? Because I remember this picture, but I don't remember that name. The name was something else. You're Canadian, but are you black? I'm assuming you're black.
uh, yeah, still, yeah, Black Canadian. So basically, that was the end of Jenny and Sumit. Sumit being like, "No, I don't want to go to America. I'm not really into it. I want to stay here." And on the podcast, we're gonna tell you this right now that we filmed the podcast for this episode, which is already up on DocuSweeties, like literally on where we listen to a podcast. So tonight, please give it 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts. Let us also tell you as a confessional that we were like, "We're done, great," and we stopped the podcast. We were like, "Oh, great, like let's move on with our lives," like, and like what felt like maybe like 4 hours later, did we realize that we just didn't talk about Angela and Michael. Now, we figured if anyone ever would bring it up, we'd be like, "Well, it was a choice." And we are confessing to you that we just forgot. Was dying over there. People saying, "I'm not black, I am black." Is that what you're saying? I used to be purple green.
I don't know what that means, but you guys, I in this moment forgot about them too. Again, I don't want to talk about them. I think I just don't. I don't have anything to say. But go on ahead and talk about them. I have anything to say.
No, no, no. So here's the thing, we're gonna stick by it because now it makes this is a I'm gonna bring it up to say this. We're sticking by it now because now it makes sense and it goes against, now the podcast is already up. So if you are here in the live, you understand what we did. But at the same time, we all saw, everyone in this room saw, unless you fast forwarded it, the Angela and Michael segment. And truthfully, there's nothing to say other than the fact that she's a nightmare and he is like, I mean, I can't listen to this person just be screamed at. And she just was like, really, you motherfucker, it's just like it's a lot. So like we don't want to talk about it. It's not even that fun. It's like the same old, like it was having the time of her life, just like answering questions and stuff.
Good lover of
NorCal, so many my NorCal friends, Natatat and Shay.
lover of teats. That's a really important thing.
Yeah, like bag. So get yourself some bag Bombay.
Yeah,
Yeah, make sure all your teats are well moisturized, babe.
Angela just is a disrespectful asshole, and Michael, you know what makes me mad? And this is completely me. This is completely petty. This is completely just my experience in life.
Speak on
I
it.
can't get a man to want to be my significant other to save my fucking life. And Angela can be a raging asshole and have a man continuously accept this behavior. And I am not an asshole. Like, I am a loving person who just wants to like love on someone, not be talked to when I get directly home from work and like given space, but also like go out and eat good food with and laugh with and make jokes with. Like, I am a good person. And Angela is running around this earth tormenting this poor Nigerian man, running up on his house, calling him a bitch to his face. And he is still like, Angie, Angie, have a seat. Angie, stop it, oh. Have a seat, Angie. Angela,
Stop
be
it.
Angela. I just want to have some say in this relationship. I sometimes think maybe I should just cut it and move on. Sometimes. What's wrong with you?
God, you do such a good Michael. You
It's
know what I'm saying?
lyrical.
Stopitol is like just hard, yes. Okay. So, it's also kind of reminds me of like Sokoto, anyway. So, um,
Sokoto.
yeah, I don't really know. NorCal, I'm loving that everyone's just like NorCal. I just like sometimes I just want to know where people are because I want to think like if I ever could go on a tour, where would people be? Where I could just be like, would there be 7 people in this city who would come to a show? Would 7 people come to a show and would they bring one friend? Could I count on a 15-person show? And I'll book the smallest room possible. Wah. I'm a white hair. Oh,
Sorry, Gary.
okay. Wah. I'm a white-haired white Grammy and have been a fan of yours for years. You crack me up and your insights are great. Love you too, Chris. I love you. You two are the best. Oh, Monica King. A
Thank you,
white-haired white
Monica.
Grammy. Do you bake things?
Grammy.
I
That's so
know.
cute. It's so cute. Yeah, no, I just assume. I mean, it's not like I'm like, oh, I just am like, who else would want to watch me? So I'm glad to know that I have a rainbow effect on folk and everybody's interested in it. But yeah, I just always assumed that everybody, I mean, I can't when Chris told me that Quasi wasn't black, I was like, and not that it made a difference, I just assumed. And she was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, oh."
Sorry, I'm Mickey. I blew your cover. Ah.
That's when I was like, "Oh, maybe I should not assume everybody's black," unless, I obviously see their pictures and I'm like, "But if there's no picture, I am assuming that you were a black
Assuming,
woman."
assuming. Uh, this is such a fun room. Oh, there's so many fun people here. Um, uh, yeah. So that was Angela and Michael, and that was we obviously don't talk about Ed and Liz, but don't leave yet. We're not ending yet. We're gonna like listen to you guys and throw up some things and what you're saying. You can ask us questions or whatever. Are you watching Live After Lockup and Love During Lockup? That's also things we can talk about. I did watch the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, but I don't think anyone here watches that. Come on with that. We're here with the pop culture. I'm black and Canadian dating doula.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
we
I
do
know I know
doula.
dating doula. I think
Yeah.
I've seen you do a video or something. I knew you're black. But I mean, you don't have to tell me who you are. I'm just saying I'm gonna
Yes,
assume.
you do.
You don't have to say who you are.
Yes, you do. Oh, sure, you can put that up, but yes.
30 something European.
Your
Hello,
number one
hello.
Patreon is a mixed race person. Your number one Patreon? We weren't grading people. We didn't rank people.
Number one, oh, patron, you mean? Thank you for being a
Patreon.
patron.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we love doing Patreon. I want to do more things like I want to do more lives and stuff. So we just once we get like a little more people, we can go live. It's only because like if we go live right now, be like hardly anyone. But we also want to know like what kind of content you would like there because we are like excited to give you what you want. I thought Quasi was black too.
Donna, a lot of Canucks here.
Connect is such a funny word. Michelle, my boyfriend comes in the room saying, "I keep hearing them say Michelle. Are they talking to you?" Once he heard me say "wah," and he said, "You mean wah? I'm a." That whether he
He
knows
knows
who
who
I.
you are.
Ah,
Hello,
whoa,
Michelle McDaniel's boyfriend.
wah Emma. I get it. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
done. Yeah, he knows. Thank you so much. Yes, if you are listening to this, Michelle's boyfriend, you have picked quite a gal. We love very much. Thanks for
Yeah.
like listening to our voices. Hope they're going well over these mics, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Sandra's saying she can't hear us, but the rest of y'all are doing
Your
are
audio
are
is
able
too
to.
low. Oh, huh. I wonder why. I love the docu-series podcast episodes. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to do so what are you watching? Okay. Oh, Donna Carr. Are you watching the Emergency Act Inquiry? I have to know, I don't know what that is, but I have to start watching new docu-series. I think that the Barney one looks really interesting that Wah brought up. Oh, dating doula. You liked Sins of Her Mother. Yes. Like Sins of Her Mother, that situation, the Linda Vallow situation, sort of reminds me of the Alexander Murdaugh situation, which was he was like the Southern lawyer that like killed his wife and his son, but then also like try to get himself killed, but then that's a whole situation. And when they make the docu series on that, it's gonna be bananas.
Oh wait, so the rumor is that he might have killed his wife and his son?
Oh yeah, he's on trial for it. It's not a rumor. I mean, he's been indicted.
I thought he was just indicted for falsing his were like doing drugs, embezzling. Like he was a drug addict and he embezzled money and then he tried to set up his own death so that his younger son could get the money. I didn't know that he was a suspect in his wife and his son's murder. Oh.
He's saying that it could be his cousin. My husband relates to Wall, and they have so many similar opinions. Oh, good.
Hey,
It's always nice to have a similar opinion. Also, yeah, Teal Swan was delightful. I was riveted. Thank you so much. I loved the Teal Swan ones. That
I
was really,
loved
really
it. Yeah.
we, it's like other things. It's like we missed three big ones in my mind. We also haven't done, which we've already watched, but it's like we have to go back and watch them. Is Don't F with Cats, Tiger King, and probably whatever the county one where the people are in a cult and they're all dressed in maroon.
Oh, country.
Wild Country.
Yeah.
Wild Country, and maybe the Bikram one. It's like those ones are kind of big ones, right? Wa?
Yeah. I mean, we can't say Lion King. I mean, Joe King. What's the name? Joe. We can't say
Tiger
that one.
King?
We can't say Tiger King. That was in the pandemic. We missed that. Like no one is looking for a
Tiger
podcast about
King
the
now.
Tiger King. Yeah,
Would
no,
you
that
guys?
shit
Yeah, I guess unless you were just like yeah, and only because people. Yeah, you're right.
no, that shit sold. We missed Tinder Swindler.
Oh yeah, that would have been great. And the Annie Delvey one.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, she's the like German heiress, fake heiress that like is actually like a
Oh,
Russian like poor lady that like swindled a bunch of money from like banks and things in New York, which I love. It's like not, like she like would just go to hotels and just like for some reason have a line of credit there. Like, it's funny because it's like I've stayed at so many nice hotels, but I just have always when you like check in, you have to carry a credit card. Like so in my mind, I'm like, unless they charge a credit card and it just doesn't like go anywhere if it's declined or something. Maybe that's what happens.
no, I mean, they know right away if it's declined. It's not like they're putting it on that machine and then putting that like carbon copy, slip of paper on top of it and it's like running it through. Remember that machine?
Yeah.
Remember when you used to like have a credit card and then like the salesperson, like maybe in Pretty Woman, they would put it down on this machine, right? And then they would put a carbon copy. Yeah. They would put a carbon copy thing on top of it and then they would like I've only used that like one time
Mhm.
not early on in my career, but it was always a backup at Cole Haan in case our swipey thing didn't work.
Mhm.
And I was just like, wow, it just takes you back to the times where like you could go in and just use a credit card and then walk out with tons of shit and then they go and actually run it and the next day find out that shit was declined. So that's why they started to like racially profile people and be like, well, obviously your credit's not good and they would call to see if you could even use it first before they swiped it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
This is a great point. I feel like the two of you would be incredible with the jokes on the Tinder Swindler. Maybe a Patreon exclusive. That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all. You guys are talking about weed, laced in joints, honey cookie brownie candy, just capsules. They're talking about oh,
The
or
Tinder Swindler was good because it was so wild that any woman would open up a credit card for someone like if any man were to ask me for money who said that they were like a billionaire's son, I would be like, "Can you ask your cousins?
Yeah.
Can you ask your brothers? Why do me, who works here, has to sign you out a MasterCard? And then when the moment you start to run it up, oh, I'm cutting that shit off. Run me my money." I mean, you just have to find the right type of woman who's desperate for love, who wants some kind of international like lifestyle to like they're more obsessed with your money and your status than they are with the practicality of this. Like, yeah.
I just have such a hard time trusting that I just don't foresee a world in which I would trust so easily. But, it's just it's a lot easy for us to sit here in these moments and be like, well, what would we do if we were in this? We would never be in it. Here comes his foot. So,
I know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like when men ask me for money.
okay, but put yourself in the shoes of being in a whirlwind love story. It's like how
Yes,
much, like,
if I were young and I
you
hadn't
know,
been burned.
I think it'd be like if we went out to a fancy dinner and then he like spent like $1,000 and then like suddenly he was like my credit card was declined. I could be like, "Oh, it's weird. That's horrible and weird." I guess, okay, well, I guess I'll get it. But I would not be like, "Here's a new credit card for you." Like, but at the same time, I guess that blonde lady from like Norway would just be like, he also kept threatening her with like, he's on the run, people are after him. And so it wasn't just that he was like poor or suddenly poor, or money wasn't working for him. It was like his life was in danger in some way.
And then what I would say is, can you get your father to get you bodyguards? More bodyguards? I'm just so poor, Chris. Like, I'm just so poor that, like, the idea that somebody would want money from me when your whole role not your whole role, but, like, 25% of your role in my life is to make me not as poor. Like, our powers combined make me not as poor as I am. So, I just can't you just have to be of a certain, like, free will, I think freeness in your life. Like, the smartest person was the woman who was, the woman in retail who was like, "Oh, what? Oh, Imma sell all your shit and make my money back.
That was
Imma
great.
sell all your shit." Because, like, it's just
He
I'm just
was.
too poor to, like, to do something like that. You can't convince me of any of that kind of stuff. I'm just too poor.
He knew she was selling his shit too, which was so interesting. Like
And
he knew
he
it,
thought she was gonna send him the money for it. That's why he was willing to let it happen.
that was dumb.
Mhm.
It was dumb. All right, my loves, we're gonna wrap it up, but it was so fun talking to everyone, and we're literally just telling you right now if you want to hear us re-talk about this, but we talked about different stuff because we like keep it fresh, keep it great for you. The episode of 90 Day Fiance, HEA season 7, episode 9 is already on Docu Sweeties wherever you listen to podcasts. You can go to bed listening to us like a lullaby, like Libby singing you a lullaby. Um, Mary had a little lamb. So also we have a Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup. The new cast came out last Friday, so we have that episode up as well. Um, and a lot of things on the docket. The vow is also something people talk about, which is, I guess, the Nexium cult, and the vow part 2 is on. Yeah, people talk about watching Love is Blind. So, a lot of things happening. What are you gonna do on your channel? Have you decided?
I'm gonna do Love is Blind. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah.
Probably on Friday. Friday's my like day off before my weekend festivities. So I might do that and just go live like and talk about it all. Um I'm gonna announce to you guys something that I haven't announced to the world at this moment.
Wow, but the exclusive Waz
This is
thought
an
this was
exclusive
exclusive
for the
on
70
my
here in the
channel?
room. Yeah, I mean, listen, I
What?
mean, Quasi, don't tell anybody that I announced
She
it
can
here
tell
first.
everyone. She can tell everyone.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
What? What is it?
But,
What is it? What is it? I know what it is.
I'm moving. I'm leaving the state of California, and I'm gonna be moving, the week of the 11th of November. So, the next 2 weeks are gonna be pretty intense because I have to figure out how to get all my shit to the state. I don't know if I wanna say the state yet. I'm feeling a little like I wanna kinda be anonymous for a little bit. Like, I don't want anybody to know where I'm at until, like, I'm there and I've been there for a while. Um, but I'm moving to the Midwest.
Yeah, it's not to Canada. Sorry, Mickey.
So, yeah. And Chris and I are gonna drive there, which is why she alluded to a road trip that we're taking. So, take my paltry belongings and I'm moving. I got a promotion. That's why. So, I'm moving. So, you'll see me in and out. We'll try the best to keep everything up, but it's gonna be just difficult.
We're gonna really miss Wa, but at least we have the internet to keep us together. And so I like am sad, but at the same time, I can't be super sad because you have to be like supportive of your friend and like something that's like good for them. So you're seeing me really like deal with that in real time.
You'll be fine. Chris has like a plethora of friends. Like this person's business, like dance card is just like she's like, "I'm going to my friend." I like I'm going to my friend, and I know most of her friends, but then sometimes she tells me she has a friend named something something, and I'm always like, "Who the fuck is that? That's not your friend. That's just some person you know." Like one time she told me that her friend Julie told her to do something that I was staunchly against with, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Julie?" I was like, and she looked at me, I looked at her, I was like, "Who the fuck is Julie?" She was like, "Oh, it's just a friend." I'm like, "The fuck is fucking person's not your fucking friend." Okay, who told you to do that shit?
I have one really great friend named Julie, that was in New York, Julie Boardman, who was, like, Monique's really good friend, and then also my good friend in college, and then we're the same sorority. And I have one other friend named Julie who I don't really talk to that much, but see that much, but she's great. I won't say her last name. People are sad for me. If you had to leave LA, Chris, where would you live? Paris, New York, I don't know, maybe, like, New Orleans, San Diego, Edinburgh. Um, which sorority? Alpha Phi. Do you
Is
know
that like a
anyone?
national sorority? Is that
Yeah,
the Mm.
Alpha Phi, Alpha Free. Do you know anyone where you're moving? Wa?
Yeah.
Great. Um, you're not going off the grid. Yeah, she's love off the grid, honey.
Oh,
She's
I'm gonna
going.
move in with,
The
me
threesome,
and
throuple.
what my Maisha
Maya, Maisha, and
Maisha and Joe?
Joe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oof.
So new things, yes, change of the cards for 2023. We feel good about it. We feel like the energy is whisking her away, but she'll be making more money. I can say that, I guess, or I took it upon myself to tell people that you could say that. I could
I
say
mean,
that.
that's what usually happens when you get a promotion, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, that's I guess great. Isn't that a great thing? Who doesn't like a promotion?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm still
so
poor. Don't everyone get it twisted. I'm still poor.
listen, honey, Nintendo Swindler is gonna come after you because they can get into your riches, honey. Just like, and plus she has amazing credit too, so you can just like really get in there and just take it for everything you want and more.
Mhm.
So, we love you. We're gonna give you good vibes and energy. So we're gonna end this day on a special breath in honor of Wa. So she just turned 40. We're gonna give her our good energy and our love. We're gonna send her on her exclusive breaking news you guys heard, move to the Midwest. And Jocelyn, are you naked in this picture?
No, she's clearly having some kind of she's got like a
Yeah,
tank
but
top
a little bit of a I
situation
see the
is
tank top.
she's
It's just
wearing
like on vacation, honey.
yeah,
So
it's
who
like a
knows?
pina colada with a
Yeah.
cherry
Oh
edition.
my god, I love it. It does look like, honey, she just having the time of her lives, like at one of those adult only vacation places. Like, "Look where I am and you're not," you know. Makes me want to go.
Thank you.
Okay. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much. So, we are going to do our breath that we always do. So we're gonna exhale, we're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale and inhale because it takes 2 rounds for us to really feel it. Okay. Breathe out, wow. Okay, breathe in, wow. This one's the real good one, wow. We're gonna breathe in all the good stuff for you. So really suck this one in, wow. Who's that?
I don't know.
Okay, how lovely. So please, please, please listen to DocuSweeties. Go and follow DocuSweeties on Instagram. You can also follow it on Twitter and TikTok, DocuSweeties1. Give us 5 stars there. This is, my channel. I'm Wa. Sorry, I'm Chris. This is, I don't even know who it is. That's Wa over there. You can join her YouTube, Just Call Me Wa, or follow her on Instagram and Twitter. It's Just Call Me Wa. She just had a birthday. She probably love whatever comments and or followers you want to give her. I'm Chris L. Farah. I also am on Instagram and Twitter, and I have a private Facebook group, Vanity Farah. So a lot of ways in which we would love you to connect. And we still have our Patreon. And our Patreon is .com/DocuSweeties. So the Patreon, we are really looking for ways in which to connect more. We have a friend who just, Michelle Collins has a new show on Patreon. If anyone are Michelle Collins lovers, she just turned her Sirius satellite show from Radio Andy into a Patreon, and I'm so excited to hear it. So if you're on Patreon, you can also listen to her. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Wad, have anything else to say?
No, thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes. Thank you guys for all the positive energy with the move and the promotion and the support. I need to go on my channel and actually like say hello and what's up to the folks. Ramsterdam, welcome to the chat. I know it's late, it's early, so we're leaving though right now, but thank you so much for being here. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
Amsterdam. Yeah, you got to hear the fact that she's moving. You got to hear it. Lisa's gonna have to like get told the news late. Um, all right, my love. Sleep well wherever you are. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for your patience. That this is already once a night and I haven't done this yet, but God bless. And we're also watching House of Dragons. We're also loving that. So lots to talk about. Go on Vanity Fair and talk about anything you want, and I will answer back. And also, please like this video when it goes up, and please comment after. Okay, you can give your congratulatory love after it goes up, and she can go back and look into it. All the people who love her and wish her the best. Okay, moving, birthday, it's all happening. All right, my loves. Talk to you later. Take care of yourselves and one another, and stand up for what you believe and make art. Bye.
Bye.